This year's 12th annual EBL Athletics event took place at the Deljosaphat Stadium in Paarl. This pre-primary school event is held in the honor of the late Elise Brenda Lawrence, who was well loved in this community and was passionate about the establishment of an infant school athletic structure in this area.
Well, my late wife, a year before she passed on, she started, when she stopped teaching, and then she got the idea of keeping the children from the streets, and this thing was in her mind, and she had a lot of chats with this visits to schools and to people who might help her. And when she passed on, then I spoke to the children and, well, let's take this idea further, and it grew, as you see now, a big success.
Okay, so the event started 13 years ago, and this was after my mom passed on. It was always a dream because she was a foundation phase teacher. There were never opportunities for the little ones to take part, so this was her dream, and it only realized after she passed on.
Yeah, it's massive just to come out here. I know it's a pre-primary school, kids from 4, 5, 6 years old that come out here and enjoy themselves, you know, run against each other, be competitive a little bit. I mean, this event has been around now for 13 years, since 2010, and it's called EBL in late memory of Elise Brenda Lawrence. So it's just massive, you know, she had this massive idea, you know, and everything this is just because of her. You know, she started with this as planned, and we just want to come out here and enjoy it with the kids and live a memory.
I think it's an ongoing event, it's annual, and we were invited by Peter Lawrence. And I think that was where he wants his wife's memory to live on. She was a great foundation phase teacher, very well known, such a soft teacher. I also work with her sometimes before I start my teaching here at Rondy Primary. And she was all for the kids, and I think he wants to let that memory live on. And that's where I think where he started the athletics for that, I mean, a sport event for that. And I think it will grow, it will go on, because the funds that they make there is not just for them, for the foundation. He shared with the other schools, and where schools use it to for our kids, for our sports at school. So I think me and the other school was one of those who have the money this year. So we have to use it in the sport activities of our kids. So yes, I think it will be an ongoing thing.
In terms of the event held 3 weeks ago, arranged by Mr. Lawrence and his team, I would say the first thing that was different to the day, that was something that we are not accustomed to, is the mere fact that such young children, that an event was arranged for such youngsters. It's never ever happened in the school's history before, and I'm talking in terms of athletics specifically. So the mere fact that these little ones that have never ever been to a stadium as vast as Deljosaphat Stadium, that was already a positive step. Secondly, they've never taken part, obviously, in events such as that, so it was a first for them as well, the participation. Then I would say the mere fact that the children got this opportunity to partake in an organized event, it meant a lot to the parents. I would like that to be a yearly institution from now on, so that our children can start from a very young age to be subjected to participation in sportsmanship events and so on.
The challenges is, you know, because it's such a small community, the negative thing that influenced my school now the last few years is people coming in from the outside and, I don't want to say abuse, misuse my kids by bringing in some substances that is not good. I can see my kids falling away, that is finished with school outside. So like yes, drugs is starting to take over my kids that leave the school. Some of them in the school, like some 13, 12-year-old boys, and that is a big problem. The other challenge is especially during winter times. Most of my kids walk to school, and when it rains, the attendance is a little bit low.
Challenges facing our learners are wide-ranged. I think the most important challenge for our children is walking distances to school, especially in winter times. I would say about easily 85% of our children walk to school, and some of them live up to, I would say 4 to 5 kilometers from school, which is a challenge for a 6-year-old.
You know, when the small kids are involved, and I must tell you that the focus now is to get discipline in schools back, to get the norms and standards in the communities back. And the principals and the teachers, they now understand that if you engage children into sport, you start with discipline. And it will help them a lot at school.
It is very important for grade R learners to have the muscle memory and the skills, because that it helps them to read and write, and it helps them with a lot more than what we know or what we think. It is not just about playing. The skills that they develop in sport, it helps them with a lot of other things in school itself.
When kids are in class the whole day, I think they need just to get out, breathe in some fresh air, and run around and stuff. I think that's very, very important. Because you can only take in so much while sitting in class. So you need something else.
Our kids is from the farms, and on the farms it's not like a lot of equipment that they can use to develop really the skills in sports. So what we have here, I don't know if you're going to see, is just our rugby field. And then we make use of the teachers, and we see that we take the cones that we use in the PT periods, and we just throw lines for the kids. And every morning we just put it down. We've got tires on the fields, and then we let our kids run. We just measure out the distance of 50 meters or a distance of 100 meters. And we are the teachers on one side and the other side. And we just say run, and they just run from point A to point B.
The success of Sonne Primary in terms of sport is mainly in athletics, and specifically long distance running. So traditionally, we've been doing very well in long distance running, and also I would say in cross-country running. If you consider the lack of facilities that we have, the low number of learners, and quite a low participation in events, we actually delivered a Boland Central finalist in athletics this year. That was in the 1,500 meters for girls under 13.
This year, 26 pre-primary schools participated, and the funds raised have supported 2 beneficiary schools that will now be able to purchase additional sporting kits and equipment for skills training and further development of their young learners.
Like Ms. Whitney said earlier, we obviously don't have a lot of facilities here at Ronwy Primary, but here we try to do only the basics, and I think that is the most important part. As long as we get the basics right, and with the grade R learners, that is where we start. We start with the basics. Like earlier mentioned, we used to only throw lines here and let them run because we don't have the necessary facilities.
Development of the kids in this school, we're situated in a rural area. There's not much opportunities for the kids to participate in any kind of sports and so on. So we as a school, we need to give them that opportunity to participate in school. With the pandemic, last 3 years it's been a bit difficult, and financially it's also difficult because of transport, for example. If we need to take a team to, say for example, to Deljosaphat Stadium, it costs us about 1,500 rand, and that's about 8-10 kilometers from here. And as I've said, we're in a rural area. The kids, financially, the parents don't have it that good. So we need to have functions to sustain participation in sports.
On behalf of the learners, firstly, the parents, the staff, the governing body, as well as myself, and as well as the Western Cape Education Department, I would like to thank Mr. Peter Lawrence and his team, firstly for selecting us this year to be a school benefit school. At this point in time, we haven't decided how we're going to spend the funds yet. We will keep him informed once we've made that decision. Schools like Sanop and Ronwy, we do need funding to develop, to be able to purchase new things like sports equipment and so on. So on behalf of the entire Klein Drakensberg community, I would like to say for the second time to Mr. Lawrence, you guys and so on, thank you very much. We really do appreciate it. And I am sure that the money will be spent wisely and we'll be able to say this is what it meant to this community. Thank you very much.
The Sports Trust played a very significant role in inauguration of the event, and they sponsored me with a kit, the IAAF school kit, athletic kits, and we use it to further the talent of the athletes, you know, the finer points when it comes to apparatus and so forth, and which assists us a lot. And then we have had contact with the Sport Trust. Until now, I asked them, listen, it's way back, you must come and see how the project had grown.
The Sports Trust supports sport development in schools and communities and works together with their stakeholders and trustees in order to enhance education through sport.